20 minutes past the hour right now in Florida. The search is on for 10 people, 6 men and women, and 4 alternates to serve on the jury in the George Zimmerman trial. As you know, Zimmerman's accused of killing Trayvon Martin last year. Jury selection began just a few minutes ago. In the courtroom today will be Trayvon Martin's parents. And this past weekend, Zimmerman's attorney, Mark O'Mara, told HLN's Gene Casares what he wants to see in a potential juror.
Someone who's fair. Somebody who's not made up their mind yet, will be open to the law and the evidence, and most importantly, somebody who's not going to give in to some of the external pressures that are on this case right now.
You need somebody brave?
Yes, I think I need somebody who's willing to make up their mind after they hear everything and then stick to it and not be worried about any fallout that may happen.
All right, let's head to Sanford, Florida, and George Howell. Good morning, George. Tell us more. You're covering the trial.
Carol, good morning. So the judge here seems to be ready to move forward with this case. Just a few minutes ago, we heard defense attorney Mark O'Mara request a delay of trial. This was filed over the weekend, but just a few minutes ago, the judge denied that request. They are now moving forward to hand out questionnaires to 100 prospective jurors. They're looking for a total of 21 of those jurors to move forward with the jury selection process in this case against George Zimmerman. Was it a case of murder or self-defense? Those are the questions jurors will face in the case against George Zimmerman. February 26, 2012, the then neighborhood watch captain called police to report a teenager who he described as suspicious. What's in question is whether Zimmerman pursued after a dispatcher told him not to. The one thing that is clear was a conversation. 911 calls record someone in the background screaming for help. Then you hear the fatal shot.
I don't know why I think they're yelling help, but I don't know.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right, what is your...
The victim was 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman, his admitted killer, was taken into custody for questioning, but then released because investigators accepted his claim that he fired his gun in self-defense. The days that followed left this community in an uproar.
We don't understand why he's not arrested. Investigations can go on forever. And the family worries, I worry, the more time that passes, this is going to be swept under the rug.
State Attorney Angela Corey charged Zimmerman with second-degree murder. Defense attorney Mark O'Mara eventually got a judge to grant Zimmerman a $1 million bond, releasing him to house confinement with a curfew as he awaits trial. Zimmerman has been in and out of court several times for pretrial hearings, in one case taking the stand himself to speak directly to Martin's family.
I wanted to say I am sorry for the loss of your son. I did not know how old he was. I thought he was a little bit younger than I am, and I did not know if he was armed or not.
In the days leading up to trial, prosecutors asked that certain evidence, like these pictures of Trayvon Martin, not be admitted as evidence released. The focus now is on jury selection. And the challenge, Carol, in finding a jury here, they're looking for 6 jurors, at least 2 alternates. Again, they're looking for a group of people who have not been heavily influenced by more than a year of intense coverage of this very controversial case. Overall, we know that they are looking for at least 500 potential jurors. Today, they're talking to 100 of them, and you can imagine that process, Carol, will continue through the week.
I can imagine that. George Howell reporting live from Florida this morning. For more on the legal proceedings, CNN legal analyst Paul Callan is here. Hi, Paul.
Good morning, Carol.
So you've sat on both sides of the table. How do you find an unbiased jury in a case this highly publicized?
It's a really tough thing, and I got to tell you, it's maybe the most important thing that'll happen in the whole case, who gets selected for this jury. But it's been done before. It's been done in the O.J. Simpson case. It was done in the Casey Anthony case, the Scott Peterson case. We've had a whole line of cases. And what goes down essentially is you're not going to come up with people who have never heard about the case. I mean, frankly, they'd be brain dead if they hadn't. But you're going to come up with people who will say, I've heard it on television, but I promise I'm going to decide this case based on the evidence that I hear in court. And any juror who can say that will be allowed to serve on the jury. Now, each side will get a certain number of peremptory challenges. They can knock somebody off for any reason at all, except they can't use race as a factor, or religion, or gender, or religious orientation. Other than that, they can bounce people. So we'll see how it turns out. Tough situation
having heard
facing
all
both
of that,
sides.
Zimmerman's attorney, Mark O'Mara, says he'll ask for a change of venue if it looks like they can't find an impartial jury. So how likely is that?
I think O'Mara is going to want to stay in Seminole County, and I'll tell you why. The demographics favor him. This case flips jury selection on its side. Normally, the prosecutor is looking for authoritarian types who have good jobs and who are likely to convict. And the stereotypical view of most prosecutors are that those tend more often than not to be white people with who are in high-ranking positions in organizations. The defense, on the other hand, is looking for people who are suspicious of authority, and they tend to be from minority groups because they tend to get harassed a bit more by the police, maybe a lot more, than other people. So in this case, though, prosecutors are going to be looking for the minority people on the jury, and O'Mara is going to be looking for the prosecutor jurors. And you know what? He's got a better shot at it in Seminole County because the African-American population there is only 11% as compared to 16% in the rest of the state. And I think African-American jurors are going to be more likely to favor the prosecution in this case.
All right. You'll stick with us through this case. I assume it'll be a long, long journey.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one. Yep. Thank you.
Paul Callan, thanks so much.